Well, speaking of super exciting and like efficiency and
Go
stuff,
for it.
is that a good one?
You got me curious.
So, just this week, a really cool paper got published, or the news of it got published, really. But basically, so this is something I've read about actually during the Aerospike engine research, is a way to make a really simple rocket engine, basically. And I don't understand how this works yet, so I won't be able to break it down for you, but I'll tell you the physics behind it. So this was a paper that was published by the University of Washington. They basically, here's the deal. Flames, when you actually see a flame, that's considered like a conflagration. Is that the right word? Conflagration? I don't remember. So, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It doesn't say it in here. Dang it. Okay, anyway, I was like, this will tell me if I type it in. But anyway, so the flames coming out of a rocket engine are conflagration. They can't go faster than the speed of sound. Like that's what a flame is, and that's why the combustion chamber of a rocket engine is actually subsonic. So the actual part where they're mixing fuel and oxidizer and making a boom, all of that is actually not like an actual explosion, believe it or not. It's just a flame, and then they choke it into that throat, and then it expands back out. And during that choking point, they get it up to the speed of sound. Once a gas is traveling at the speed of sound, then you can widen out your nozzle, and changing that pressure, you're actually speeding it up because it's already supersonic. So the thing is there's been a lot of people saying, well, what if we actually just used explosions, like had an actual chamber that uses explosions. The problem is, that detonation, those shock waves and all of the things of an explosion are extremely, extremely hard to contain. And, if you were to make an engine that was built off of basically having the actual explosion part, it would be really heavy and would be hard to contain. So the idea is, and it really makes sense with a, let me see if I can actually play this video here. The idea is you actually basically make an explosion and then have the shockwave ignite a ring around like the outside of a chamber, and you let the shockwave continually ignite. I don't quite get it, but basically at that point you're basically just letting like the actual shockwave come straight out of the engine, so you don't have to accelerate it, and you don't have to So here's it initially igniting. I hope you can see this okay.
It's kind of weird on my screen for some reason. I don't know if it's recording that way.
Yeah, it's probably weird in general. Oh yeah, it might be weird on your screen. It might be because I don't have an actual monitor.
That's crazy looking though. Look at that, like rotating around.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the bottom of the engine bell there, kind of?
You're kind of looking, yeah. And I don't know I don't think it would need a traditional engine bell. It might just need some way to, shoot that, whatever it is. They're just working on making it so the combustion can be stable enough to do that, which to be able to really have it coming out of there already at supersonic speeds without having to choke it down and expand it is kind of the idea. And this way, you don't even need to have turbo pumps. You can literally just make detonations timed in a circle, and you just keep feeding it, and it just keeps doing it.
Sounds a little bit how the electric motor works, where it just has the magnets and hitting it on to spin the thing in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, like the electricity is just kind of chasing, or the magnet's just kind of chasing the electricity around.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but
it kind of also makes me think of like the nuclear propulsion, where it's just like a bunch of explosions really quickly to like
the Orion nuclear drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically pooping a bunch of nuclear engines and having it. Yeah.
Did you guys see Garrett Reisman on Joe Rogan talking about that?
I did. It was awesome. He talked about the nuclear thermal propulsion, which is slightly different and really cool too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I liked Garrett Reisman until that interview. Reisman, that was an awesome interview.
Yeah, check that out.
Definitely listen to it.
It was funny listening.
He's great.
Because normally I watch the Joe Rogan thing on YouTube, and and then during the show he's like, "Well, if you can't tell by listening, I'm all of 5'4", and I'm like, "Oh, really?" Like,
I had no idea
didn't
either.
imagine an astronaut could be that short. you know?
Oh yeah. There is a
I
lower
imagine
limit.
it's an advantage in those cramped quarters.
Well, but the spacesuit, he was talking about spacewalks.
Sure, yeah.
Were going to be difficult because he wasn't big enough to like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One size fits all.
So
Growing up, I could
So
be a
here-
jockey or an astronaut.
So here is the actual. So this engine and this idea has been around forever. Well, actually, what the big breakthrough was with this article and this paper they published is developing the mathematical model which matches the physics, because they've had a hard time predicting, how to actually build this, where to put everything. So they were kind of just studying the front edge of this shockwave and learning, just really trying to figure out the math behind it. Because once you know the math, you can scale this thing up. You can make, start really tuning it and really making a proper working prototype, as opposed to these ones that are running for about a half a second, very dangerously and very unpredictably. So once they know how it functions and all that stuff, they can start to actually make some working prototypes. And again, this is an engine that, from my understanding, would actually work really well in, say, an aerospike, which is really, really cool. So maybe I'll have to start reaching out to these researchers here and tell them, hey, I'll start a company with you guys, and we'll make a detonation wave aerospike engine, and it'll be awesome. But yeah, that's kind of that news. Any questions about that?
That's cool. When's it going into production?
Tomorrow.
April.
Yeah. Ask Elon.
already
It's
put-
like in about 2 months.
I put my pre-order in on it and put my $100 down. We'll see.
You just make a reservation with an app, right? You're like, okay, how
Yeah,
much? What's the
exactly.
deposit here? $100 sold.
Exactly. So super, super, super cool stuff. So great work to the teams out there at University of Washington for working on modeling this, and hopefully we'll see more and more from this. And I'm really excited for that. So,
Yeah.
by the way, I love the name of this. The YouTube title for this video is "Destructive Bifurcation of Rotating Detonation Waves."
That's keyword rich.
Page turner, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
Those
good,
rank real high.
good nighttime reading material.
Exactly.
No, I
Maybe
want
this
to check
is an
that out though,
engine-
because that video looked bonkers. Like I couldn't figure
Yeah.
out what was going on there.
So maybe if this engine is cheaper, well, because it's more simple, might be able to be built cheaper, might lower the cost of space and open up things like space tourism. Hey, thanks for checking us out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this clip from our podcast.
We do a weekly show here on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to Our Ludicrous Future, where we discuss all the things that are going to make our future totally ludicrous.
You can join us here on YouTube or at any of your favorite podcast places. Plus, if you want to get some behind-the-scenes stuff and join a cool community, you can help support the channel at patreon.com. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.